Hello.
Hello.
G'day world.
Oh, uh, I mistaked you for Motown when I heard you at first.
Yeah, you mistake me for Motown?
Yeah,
Ah.
you sounded like him at first.
Cool, cool. We are live. Awesome. I'm just going to refresh. And we will begin very shortly. And we have, hey, Sean is here.
Hey, you guys.
How's it going, man?
Good.
Good, good. Just going to check the audio levels. Seems really good so far. Mark, say Mississippi again.
Mississippi.
Awesome. Let me hear that playback. Should be good. All right, yeah. Cool, we're all audible and clear. So I'm just going to send out a tweet real quick, and then we will be good to go. Yeah, there. So welcome everyone. It is a fine Tuesday today. This is interesting because today on stream for the Asylum Development Hour, we will have Mark. He's a resident graphics designer who has been with Asylum for about a month and a half now. But not only is this his first time streaming, this is also basically our first time streaming live from within the office using our new internet, which is pretty interesting because we have so many people working abroad and all of our, Jade, Antoine, all of those guys that work in different areas are super enthusiastic about streaming, but this is the first time that we're actually doing it from within the office. So kind of an interesting piece of information, but it's cool. We'll just be doing, I gave Mark a 720p profile for OBS. Our internet can definitely handle more than that, but I just wanted to do something modest for the first time. So, but yeah, that's that. So to give you guys an idea of what Mark does, he's made several different logos for the fictional brands you'll find in the bike shop in the game. He's also been creating wallpaper for interior design. So, for your houses or apartments. He'll also be tasked with creating designs we can place on clothing. And today in particular, you'll be seeing him working on designs for our UI. So for example, if you're purchasing, a table from a furniture store, might have this little icon of a table with cutlery on top of it when you're looking at that item in the menu. So it's really cool to see this sort of thing, what goes on behind the scenes, because when we've showed off stuff on stream before, it's usually the 3D artist. So it's a nice change in atmosphere to see this 2D artwork. Pretty cool.
Could
So, oh yeah.
sorry, could Mark, could you show off some of the other work you did too?
Yeah,
Yes,
I'll just show you
we have two selected pieces actually for today.
the clothing or the furniture icons for the interface to start with, and then so essentially select a couch or tub, bed, those types of things. Rug, there's a ceiling fan. We got a coffee table, a window, which is actually represents curtains. So you change your curtains or whatever. Desks,
Cool.
doorknobs, doors in general, desks, little side tables, fireplace if we end up getting fireplaces, fridge, some dining room chairs and regular kitchen chairs.
Awesome. I
There's
love it.
Jumping
your
Jupiters.
There's your kitchen table with the place settings, a couple of lamps. This one's actually supposed to be a floor lamp, but it's it's not as tall because it doesn't have anything beside it. Mirrors, another little side table, a little ottoman, a little oven, some plants. Maybe you have one of these crazy vases or other
Oh
decorative
my
items.
goodness.
Some wall paintings, and maybe if we get to a dishwasher, uh, washing machine, whatever, you can get one of those. So I did all these ones for the furniture right now, and I've moved over to I've starting some work on some of the clothing ones. So we'll have to do the same style and everything that these are in, but for these clothing guys over here to represent
Yeah.
different things you might have on your person, your
So
character.
basically, Mark has this big sketchbook where he does all of like the concept art in it, and then he'll scan it and bring it into Photoshop and can draw over it. He uses a lot of stuff in the Adobe suite a lot of different. What program is this right now? Is this Photoshop or something else?
This is Illustrator, Adobe Illustrator, and right now I was just putting together some rough outline graphics, quick rough outlines, so that I can have something to follow. These wouldn't be final drawings. They're just kind of quick rough ones to give me an idea of where to place some lines when I start building. But
Cool. Yeah, and I guess before we begin, it would be cool to show off those two designs we picked earlier
okay,
for the bike
so,
shop.
So,
And
so in the game, there's going to be like a bike skateboard shop, and
Hmm.
so on the outside and on the inside, there could be skateboards or other T-shirts or things that you could get from that
I love the pun on this
shop.
one.
So we needed to make a whole bunch of uh, brands to be in that skateboard bike
Yeah.
shop that weren't real. So we came up with a whole bunch of different fake brands and stuff. So this one here is Breaking Bad helmets, and
Uh, it's such a nice pun and it looks good. And the other one is really cool too.
the other one
Uh,
is
is
there's
warp
about
some half
there's
pipe
about
or something.
there's about 75 of them. So we've got
Oh
and
my
then
gosh.
the half pipe.
Yeah.
So it's if you know your skateboarding and bike terminology, a lot of the uh,
I
a
love
lot of
that
the
logo.
company logos and stuff are all based off of skateboarding moves or bike terminology
Hmm.
or things like that. So
Yeah.
this one I just had fun with because I was putting it together with some Nintendo fun. So
Yeah, it looks great. It honestly, a lot of the puns and things like that, you have this really good design flow for this sort of thing, and we'd love to show you guys more, but we're going to keep some of them a secret for the future because if
yeah,
we showed you all of them, I mean, he said he has like what, 70-ish?
seven
That's
that's quite a bit.
that's
70
crazy, and
And
this is just for the bike shop.
yeah
just real
70.
quick, welcome everybody from the German GTA RP community GVMP.
Oh wow,
That's
hello
quite a like
guys.
they kind of rated the
The
stream.
chat,
So
yeah, I
yeah,
see that now.
yeah, welcome everybody.
Oh, Motown, your mic sounds a bit digital. Just maybe check to see if it's plugged in all the way, the
All
headpiece.
right, let's take a
Maybe. But yeah, welcome all. We have about 93 viewers already. I hope you guys are all having a great Tuesday. And it's really cool to see some of Mark's work because this is once again, for those just coming in, the first time that we've had him on stream and also the first time that we've streamed from within the office. So that's really cool. Um, Today, as per usual, we'll try and take as many questions as we can from both the Discord and the Twitch chat, and basically just have a good time with the viewers while we watch, some of our awesome artists do their thing. And yeah, since it's also his first time, if you guys have any questions, you want to know maybe what his favorite programming, no, not programming, what favorite software he uses, or maybe his background in graphic design, feel free and we'll try and get that answered. But apart from that, same as usual.
Am I better?
I'm still a bit weird. I don't know what it
Okay.
is.
I don't
Oh
know. I
wait,
might have to
it's
stick
it
with it.
it sounds good enough. Just sounds like a bit like a radio, like you're talking out of our ear, but
Interesting. All right.
Is there anything else you guys wanted to see? Did you want to see
oh,
the bike shop itself?
nah.
No.
We'll
Okay.
save it for later.
All right. Sounds good. I'm just gonna
Okay.
start working away.
Yeah. So, I see that you're doing all of these in like a neon, like purple violet kind of thing. Is that
My
gonna
hot pink.
hot pink? Yeah. I
uh,
guess it's just for contrast. It might be changed.
yeah. So yeah, I like to just work in pink and blue. I don't know why. That's just something
That's
I've
good. It's
been doing forever. But if you wanted to see if they were on like a black background or whatever, they might look more like that in the end.
okay.
If we
Neat.
need them on,
Yeah.
they
Okay.
can be any color you want them to
Sick.
be. So
Yeah. I think some of these would make excellent inventory icons when you're like buying something in the furniture shop. That's
so
great.
I think you can still see them pretty good when they're small. That's sort of the idea. We'll figure out whatever color they're going to be when we send them off to get put into the interface.
Nice. Just to answer some questions in the chat, you cannot skateboard in Identity, but you can bike. Um, A lot of people have shown interest for skateboarding when Jade finished his designs, but it's just not something we have planned on the roadmap right now. Maybe if there's a lot of support for it in the future, but right now just biking.
To kind of put those mechanics into place, it would be like making a whole new game,
Yeah.
nearly. Unless we wanted it to look really bad.
I think,
You
yeah,
know,
I don't think you can ride them, but you could possibly purchase them and put in your apartment or something.
Yes, for
yeah,
decoration.
we definitely have a skateboard prop for sure. They'll be decorated in the bike shop, and as just mentioned, you can prop it up in your house or apartment. But yeah, that's cool. Very nice to see this because 2D artwork is not something we usually get the virtue of seeing. It's pretty nice just seeing how you have these concept scribbles in your book. You're bringing them to life here, and we'll see them in the UI someday. So that's really sick. Someday soon, actually.
We'll see how.
Um, yeah. Um, Oh, and also a quick shout out to the mods in the chat. They help answer questions and keep things nice and tidy. Big thanks to you guys. I see James for sure there. So thanks so much. Um, and yeah, but I guess I myself am a bit curious, Mark.
Hmm.
Do you have any preference for like what kind of software you work in? Have you ever used like Corel Studio or things like that, or strictly Adobe?
Strictly the Adobe stuff. Just because that's what those were the programs we learned when we were in school. So if you already know kind of one program, uh, there wasn't any real need to learn Corel. And Corel at the time when I was in school wasn't a very popular program to use at all. So maybe now it is, but back then it nobody really used Corel Draw for anything. Now it's okay. I see a lot of people use it if they're going to be doing like high-end painting or something like that. But I stick with the Adobe stuff only because I already bought it once, so I
Uh,
might as well just. I don't want to have to rebuy it. And now it's all subscription based, so yeah.
yeah, true. Everything is going, software is a subscription nowadays, huh? But cool. So where did you study?
I did. I did 3 years of marketing and integrative communications at St. Lawrence College, and then I did 3 more years of graphic design here in Ottawa at Algonquin College.
Wow, excellent. And it was just a graphic design course, any specific stream of work?
It's you can do anything. Well, it's all one course. You have to do it all. So you have to do. At the time, Flash was big, so we were doing a lot of Flash stuff at that time. You have to know how to do your digital communication as well as your print communications
A lot
designs.
of
So
the a lot of the local applications that we get are people that are from Algonquin too. I noticed must
yeah,
be a popular school.
it's the only one here in town.
Okay,
For in a college, you could go to the university one, but
yeah,
um, a lot of people would go to the university one if they want to do the strictly the game design course per se. They have a better game design course there. So if you're just want to do graphics and art, then the Algonquin program's pretty cool. It's pretty it's hard course. I'm not gonna say it's easy. So a lot of late hours I spent sleeping at
I
that
can imagine.
school.
Really? Were you on campus or like literally sleeping in, a desk?
Yeah, sleeping in the computer lab
Oh my
desks.
gosh, dude.
Like that's where you would go. That's where you would spend your
That's
time.
brutal.
You must be happy to be done with that now, or are
Yeah,
you? Are you?
I'm done. I'm done with
Okay.
it, honestly. I mean, depends how
Jeez.
many hours. We haven't had to sleep any hours here before, so that's good. Yeah.
Wow, excellent, dude. You have quite the background then. Jeez. Um, yeah, but it's cool. It's great to have you in here in the office. You've been here for about a month and a half, and it's been going swell. So great to have you on the team, dude.
Yeah,
All of our
easy.
desks are filled in the office. We have a new desk over to the right that has computer components sitting on top. We still got to build a new PC for anyone new that pops in, but we are growing, expanding, and doing well. In terms of office news, that new server I talked about for the build server, so to speak, is going well. Actually, John is putting it into a bigger case right now because it's had some thermal issues, but when he got all the batch files running, it's been amazing for our efficiency. Basically, we have this little box now that can help do builds of the game so they can be updated, put on Steam. Everyone can be on the same level playing field when they get in the morning, so we don't have to do compile certain things on one computer and other stuff on the other, so we're all on the same page. And it's been helping, especially with building the lighting in certain areas of the game. So that's going well. Apart from that, everyone's just working really hard, uh, as per usual, to make sure Module 1 is done and done well. So never a dull moment here. And yeah, I guess with that long introduction, we can get right into some questions. Don't have too many saved today, Motown. So
That's all right. I'm gonna make Mark answer all the questions.
oh yeah,
Okay.
sure. I'm sure he's well prepared for
I
that.
will I
He's
will
well
an
versed.
I will answer all of the questions. However, they may not be the correct answer. Sorry, Trebek.
Mhm. It's all good. Um,
Nice reference.
but yeah, one of the things I'd like to ask, this goes for both Town Square Module 1 and the full game. So you'll find clocks and identity. Obviously, there are buildings with clocks on them. You'll have digital clocks, I assume you can buy and put in your apartment, things like that. We've seen Jade do a rustic one. Will these clocks refer to your local time, the time in game with the quick 4-hour cycles, or the time the server is based off of?
The in-game time, that the night day-night cycle.
Okay, cool. So they'll be moving relatively quickly then.
Yes.
That's cool. Just for those not in the know, we're currently looking at having 3 hours of daylight per 1 hour of night, equaling a total of, each day is 4 hours in game. That's what we're currently looking at. That might be tweaked in the future, but it seems to be all right for now. And another quick question. This is for the full game, can you dial 911 without requiring a microphone to speak with someone? Can you do that sort of exchange entirely through text or things like that?
Yes, I believe if you dial 911 on the phone and you don't have a microphone, a chat window will be used.
Oh, that's cool. That's great. Ooh. Uh, Someone in the chat. Would you get accepted as a graphic designer or art designer while not having a diploma in them? Really, if you are proud of your work and you have a nice portfolio, that's really what matters. You know, the passion and can't speak today. The passion and the dedication towards your area of expertise is really what makes a difference in this world. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And generally in the game development industry, it's really the quality of your work that matters more than anything else. So if you didn't go to college, you don't want to expend as much money as someone like Mark or myself or any one of us that did go, or yourself even. uh, uh, you don't want to spend that much money and be that in debt. Or actually, I guess you guys aren't not as quite as expensive here in Canada as in the U.S. Uh,
Depend.
yeah, I
I guess it
will.
depends where you go. I don't know.
Yeah, but yeah, it's not a requirement to have a college degree in most companies. Like I said, it's really the quality of your portfolio, your experience with uh, software, and that kind of.
Cool. Yeah. Excellent. Exactly what I was feeling. Yeah, a question from the Twitch chat actually. I think we covered this in the past, but because we're talking about graphic design today, I think it would be appropriate. Someone is asking, will you be able to upload an image for a shirt or a company logo?
Mm. Uh, it's a probably.
Okay.
Not in the town square, but I think John's plan is to allow players to upload small images.
Mm-hmm.
And we will moderate those through like a administrator gallery, so we'll be able to look at everything and then delete them on the fly as we see them pop up when they're uploaded.
Okay. One of the moderators is like, well, that's the new answer. Um, yeah.
I know that's what John wants to do. So
We definitely have the tech for it there. It becomes a matter of, how many custom images are we, devoting resources into moderating and how we can get that to work. You can definitely make a bunch of different cool designs with assets from within the game, like a bunch of different patterns and stuff for your logos, your company logos and things like that. But in terms of custom content, we have the tech there. We just need to get the final green light for that sort of thing. But cool.
There you go,
Uh,
guys. That's how you make a magnifying glass in 5 minutes.
hey, it looks nice.
yeah, sometimes things change, James. There you go. Yeah,
Cool.
The
looks
backpack
good.
is going to be more difficult.
Mm,
Yeah,
true.
we'll figure it out.
Cool. I'll move on. Here is another question. This one I had saved from today. This one's pretty general. Will Identity feature a referral system like other MMOs where if you refer a friend, you can receive bonuses?
We're considering it. It's still on the table, but we'd like to do something like that, a referral program.
Mm-hmm.
It might get like probably around the time we're in beta, we'll think of ways to do something like that. It's a little early now.
Yeah, for sure. It's also interesting because, Identity doesn't have a traditional, you're level 87 or something like that, right? You
Yeah,
can't offer like, oh, you get double experience or something. It'd have to be a bit more creative in that
yeah,
department.
exactly.
Cool. Mark, I was wondering if you could explain how on earth you're making this egg shape so well. What tool is that?
This is a pen tool. So
Cool.
you can make all sorts of weird, crazy
Yeah,
lines if you want, or as long as you connect it from start to finish, then it becomes a shape and you can fill it in, and there you go. That's how you would make some weird shape. But
Nice.
if you wanted this and you wanted to, you didn't like the bottom, it's not as curved as you like, you can grab this other thing called the smoothing tool, and you can go like this. It'll like smooth out the corners for you like that, and then you get this shape. Now, if you just
Oh,
wanted to do like a regular circle, there's your circle. But then you're like, I don't want a circle, I want an egg shaped thing. Then you can actually you can screw it up with these tools here. So you can make like
nice.
and there's another egg shape thing.
I didn't know Illustrator was capable of that.
Yeah, and then you
Yeah,
expand that,
Beautiful,
and
dude.
then you can do that, and there you got an egg.
Hey, sorry, I gotta stop distracting you from your work. Sorry, dude. I was just curious.
Yeah, that's how you do an egg, I guess.
yeah, it's a good idea.
Hey, man, oh my gosh, Easter's in like 2 weeks. Less than 2 weeks. That's kind of ridiculous almost. Ew. Holiday though, it's fun. Just it's surprising how these holidays creep up on you. But cool. Yeah, another question. This one's from the Twitch chat. This is just in your opinion, Motown. What are your recommendations for people entering the town square on April 23rd? Like, what do you think people will gravitate towards first? What kind of activities do you want to see people do?
For sure, the movie theater, and I think we're gonna see a lot of really fun karaoke too. I know John loves that. We used to do karaoke competitions in our Altus Life community, and they were always really hilarious. Just love to see how creative people can get with it.
Oh, cool. I like that. Yeah, in terms of the cinema, you can just walk in, right, and watch old public domain movies. That's what you got going on right now.
Yes, they are on a timer, so you have to like go at certain times if you want to watch a specific movie that is up in the queue. Like you can't choose what time like what videos to watch yet, but we'll probably add that functionality someday, like especially in the final game. where you'll be able to go rent private theaters and watch any YouTube video you want with your friends. Yeah, yeah.
Oh.
John's adding info there in the background, but I already said that though.
It's all good. Cool. Yeah, that sounds nice. Me personally, I'm going to gravitate towards the apartment customization because I just really want to build my pad and see what kind of options I can do. Because just looking at Jade's apartments and seeing Mark showed off some wallpaper to me privately a few days ago, and just seeing all of this stuff come together eventually for the town square and the apartment customization. I'm just hyped. Really want to mess around with that, so that's probably what I'll be doing. And of course the art gallery. I think that's going to be fun. People drawing cool pictures. Yeah. So the next question I have saved for you is this is to do with private servers in the full game. Are you guys considering giving users the ability to access a free roaming camera mode in private servers? Mostly because people want to capture cinematic shots for like YouTube videos or streams or just general RP stuff.
That is definitely one of the things that we have on our list. Whether we will implement it for server owners and administrator use or GM moderator use, we will determine that with testing. So when we get into it, we determine that, yeah, that's something that they would really benefit from having to be able to catch players that they don't want on their server. We'll add it. Yeah.
Cool.
It will be there for developer use. So being that it's already there for somebody, it would be really easy to implement for anybody else.
Excellent. Yeah. Another cool question from the Twitch chat. A few people have answered it already, but just gonna give my 2 cents. Someone's asking, will there be in-game pets? Later down the line, after the full game is released, we'll definitely aim to have simple pets like a cat or a dog in your apartment or house, but they'll mostly be confined to that area. In the wild, in the full game, you will see some creatures, like a deer, for example. You can go hunting, but in terms of domestic animals, nothing exotic. Cats, dogs, simple stuff, and that's once again after full release. Right now, we're mostly just focusing on human modeling, getting those animations down, getting things working with the human characters properly.
Yeah, like you said, the pets will be confined to your apartment at the beginning, but we are considering also adding things like canine units and hunting dogs that will be able to follow you around outside in the world.
Cool. Yeah. Sounds good. Sounds good. Cool. Let me just check real quick. So in the game, this is kind of a generic question. You might have info on this, but whether you're running someone through the police database or you're checking out somebody's, if they have an ID or something, is there any way to get like the photo of your character beside information? Like if you have a passport in game, if you have a license or something, can you see your character's picture somewhere?
That's too soon for me to answer, because what it's going to come down to is whether we can take a 3D render of your character, rasterize that, and create an image of your
Oh,
character. That's all very technical. So and it's we haven't
yeah.
quite worked out how we will complete that system yet.
What is
So
rasterize? If I might.
rasterize is like when you take like vector art, for instance, like what
You take something that you're doing here in Adobe Illustrator and you transfer it over to Photoshop, for instance. So Photoshop's pixel based and Vector is vector based,
Oh,
or
yeah.
Illustrator is vector based. So the basically one of the main differences, any vector shape can be scaled to whatever size you want without destroying the quality of it. Whereas pixels, and if you scale up something in pixels, there's a chance it'll get blurry.
yeah. Okay.
So,
Huh.
but
Nice. Did not know that terminology today. Thanks for teaching me something, guys.
No
Cool. Yeah, so I guess vector is the way to go if you want fine detail.
Yeah, exactly.
if you want to scale something large and you want to keep it together, then yeah, go vector base if you know how to do that. If not, just build your stuff in Photoshop as in a big way, and that way you can always shrink it down and it won't lose as much quality. But you'll always have a big version, so you don't have to make something small and then try and make it bigger again and find out that you can't because it's
Yeah, it's been
it'll start to
compressed
get
already.
all blurry on you. So
Yeah. Wow, okay. Cool. But to answer the question, seems we could do that. Not too sure if we will at the beginning anyways, but cool, cool, cool. This one is kind of almost for everyone really at Asylum. But it will be very interesting to hear your answer on this, Motown. Someone was wondering earlier today if there's anything you can tell us about Module 1's file size at this point. Are there any approximations you can make based off the models and materials you've been handling with?
Well, what I know from our current builds that we have for like development Steam builds, we're sitting around 5 to 7 gigabytes. So I think it's probably going to be somewhere in the range of 10 gigabytes for the
Town Square?
Town Square module. Yeah. We like our build for our like development build is like somewhere around like 100 gigabytes.
Ooh.
But when you when you compile all of that and you compile all that into the engine build, it actually removes all of the references, all of the other extra data, and just puts in the bare bones. Anything that is actually needed by the engine to show you the game when it compiles, it just takes all the crap out, which is
Okay.
awesome.
Yeah, sounds good. Wow. Cool to see such a jump from, 5 to 6 to 100 for the dev build, but that's cool. Good to know. Certainly memory is pretty ubiquitous nowadays, so I don't think anyone will have too much trouble getting that on their hard drives or SSDs. But always good to be conscious of stuff like that. I hate it when you download a new game, it's like a million gigs, and then there's a day one patch with another million gigs.
Yeah, exactly.
Some games are huge nowadays, it's crazy. But cool. Good to know. Here's another interesting, just generic question. Would you guys ever be up for adding a viral achievement similar to what you see in other games? Like, you unlocked this achievement for playing in the same server as a developer, and then that can spread to other people?
Yeah, absolutely. That'd be really cool to do. That would be. I love to add things like that to game to our game. Yeah, not to games, but to our game.
Yeah. I mean, I don't have any examples off the top of my head, but it's usually like, oh, you killed a dev or killed the player who killed the dev, or you've been in the same server as a
Yeah,
dev,
for
something like
sure.
that.
That would
So
be awesome. Yeah.
always neat little things. Cool. Already 4:34. We are blazing. Let me skim real quick. Oh, that's an interesting thought experiment, Motown. Someone in the Twitch chat asked, will there be any special surprises for people if they manage to pirate the game? I mean, it's an online-only game, so it'd be
Yeah.
very difficult, but
It,
perhaps.
yeah. Because the way that the whole server structure works, it'll probably be near impossible to pirate. But if you maybe we could like if we start seeing it somehow getting cracked even online, maybe we could distribute our own pirate copy
No!
to like websites, but with like some surprises in there.
Oh boy, I don't even. Ugh. Shouldn't have asked that question. All right.
Well, we know it's gonna happen anyway, but yeah, it's probably not gonna happen because of the way the at least from my understanding, and I'm not a programmer. I'm not very well versed in that stuff. I just
Yeah.
understand traditionally when something is up for grabs on a pirate website that has any sort of networking, you can only do the single player aspect of it.
Yeah,
So,
that's what I'm feeling.
from my understanding of how.
Cool. Will the pre-purchased items be unique, or will they be obtainable by everyone in game? The items you get with pledge rewards and things like that right now will have their own unique kind of like coat of paint, so to speak. You won't be able to access some of the things, at least in the full game, but there will be, apartments and vehicles very similar to the ones that you can see in pledge rewards. Just the ones right now are unique in a sense that like people will know that you actually got them before the game's released. There'll be something special about them. But in terms of like effects for like a vehicle, you can probably get a similar spec car, the full game, or a similar looking
Yes.
apartment. But yeah, is that. What you get for pre-ordering anything special? I believe if you have the Citizen or above, which is pretty much anything, you will get a special like founder hat, just something with I think maybe the identity logo or something like that in the
Or the
full game,
Kickstarter logo.
or the Kickstarter logo. Yeah, if you pledged very far ago. Um, and where was I going with that? But basically you'll get items that correspond with like the amount you've pledged that will have, you know, a unique look distinct to that particular thing, as I just mentioned. But in the full game, you won't feel like you're like significantly behind other people or anything like that, because you will be able to obtain very similar items through in-game means. It's mostly a prestigious like legacy thing for people that hopped on board early. They'll have something special that people will be able to get an exact replica of later on. Sorry for the rambling. Actually, I wanted to ask Motem, because the most expensive thing on the shop right now is the VIP, which I do recall is $500. And in that package, there's something at the end that says you get a dozen random outfits. Have you decided if those outfits will be completely unique to that and only that package, or if you can get the dozen random outfits in game, or is it the same case where it's like very similar, but it's still distinct to that particular package?
Well, there'll probably be some things that you can obtain in game. Uh, only you'll be getting them for free. But well, just to keep it fair, you know, we'll like when we start looking at it again, we'll probably throw in some unique stuff that nobody else would have been able to get.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we're all about making sure people get their money's worth with things. So, you know, we'll take a look at it again when we get to it.
Cool. Sounds good. Great questions great questions today, guys. Really nice getting this insight. I learn a lot too from these. It's always great to have the one of the peeps from the original When Identity Started days, Motown. Really nice having you around for sure.
Thanks.
Okay. Oh, here's one in regard to animations. Will there be an in-game saluting animation you can perform, perhaps to greet other officers or players? Just like a hi, or maybe, if there's not a particular salute.
Wait, could you repeat the question?
Oh, are you guys planning a saluting animation for either officers or just people in general, just to say hi?
Yeah, absolutely. There's a salute in there in our animation list, and we do have several other, uh, quite a bit uh, of different emo animations that you could perform just to kind of greet or pump your fist or do push-ups or any matter of.
Okay. Cool. Real quick question from the Twitch chat. Um, if you purchase the homeowner tier, do you get to keep the old dirt bike as well as the rusted car? You'll be given the rewards in your current pledge tier, so you will not have access to the rusted car. And that's basically because every kind of vehicle, and well, mostly for the vehicles at least, they'll have their pros and cons to them. Like the rusted car, obviously you can hold more people than just a single person, but it's gonna kind of suck for steering, not be so good for driving. It's just kind of to try and get you from A to B, whereas the dirt bike will be, only one seater, but you'll actually do all right off road. So everything kind of has like its pros and cons for that sort of stuff. For the apartments, it's more you just get more room and you get, maybe a better design as you go on. But basically for the vehicles, we've chosen it that way. However, with the new shop or the new website that we're working on, the shop will be updated to allow you to purchase things individually. So you might be able to tack on a rusted car if we still have that available. Still no specific ETA on when the new shop will be up, but we do need it going before Module 1 is up. So yeah, that pretty much should cover it. So the TLDR is that maybe in the future you can customize them with the new shop, but right now it's just whatever you get in your current tier. Cool though, cool. Let me jump back to the Discord real quick. Wow, wow, wow. We've already answered a lot already. Okay. Here is one, I think. Yeah, wow, we answered so much already. Anyways, this one's kind of interesting too, Motown. So for the artwork for the in-game dollar bills, has that been solidified yet? Do we know what they'll look like? If nothing has been proposed, one user suggested putting the faces of Asylum devs on the dollar bills. But
As funny as that would, there's nothing solidified yet for the in-game currency, but you can rest assured that they're not going to look exactly like. They'll be similar to U.S. currency, but not exactly the same because obviously.
yeah, fictitious place don't want it looking.
Yeah.
Cool. Someone's asking a rough idea of how much you can do in the town square module. Is it basically a testing of the town square? Basically, you'll be able to create a character. You can customize your apartment. Every player will be given one to mess around with. If you have a pledge rewarded apartment, you'll be given that to mess around with. So that's cool. You will be able to karaoke in front of other players. You can go to the library, read some stuff, write some books maybe, and contribute to that. You can do the same thing for the art gallery, so paint on some canvases, contribute to that and see what kind of artworks people are up to. Go to the cinema to watch some movies. You will be able to play chess with other players and perhaps even checkers too, because you aren't confined to the rules of chess when you sit down to play. You could use the chess pieces as checkers and act as that, because it's just a generic game board that you can play on. And there are other things too, small little features, like you can throw a coin into the fountain, you can get a drink from the vending machine. Not like pick up and drink, but you can make it spit out cans on the floor, which is pretty cool. John did that just recently. And he's working on, I think, when James has done the piano, he might add or finish adding the basic functionality to play the piano with certain keys on your keyboard. So basically, we're just trying to make Module 1 feel kind of like there's a bunch of stuff you can do, and even the little things will have some detail brought into them. Over time, when modules 2 and 3 are out, we're going to backport some features. So when the shooting mechanics are done and module 2 is done, because that'll be the swap module, we can bring the gun mechanics into module 1 in the form of a shooting range for the police station. So you'll be able to go downstairs into the basement and try out some guns there. And then when module 3 is done, which is going to be the racing one, you won't be able to drive around town square because it's probably not a good size for that. But you will be able to, if you have a pledge rewarded vehicle, check it out in a garage or something like that. So we're going to keep adding things to module 1 over time to make sure that it's it feels fulfilling, it feels fun, and there's just more things to test and get a sense of. So definitely a good plethora of features. It'll grow over time for sure. So hopefully that answers your question. But yeah, I'm really really excited to see all of the sorts of things you can do in it. Let me scroll down the Twitch chat. Also, 94 people. Thanks for joining us today, everyone. Hope you're all having a great Tuesday.
I think it would be cool to expand the first module someday with a later iteration and like make it so that we can have cars in there. But yeah, that's down the road. And it's
Literally
possible.
down the road on the.
Yeah,
But
and
sorry.
and possibly we might just like get to the beta test before that ever happens. So who knows?
Mm-hmm. It would definitely be cool to open up a module 1 a bit more if possible. At the moment, there's a bunch of construction surrounding the area, so players have kind of a reason as to why they're confined within the town square. But maybe if we ever did need to do that, expand it a bit just to drive around or something,
See,
perhaps.
seems like a safety hazard, doesn't it? Like to like just have everybody confined to this, like stuck in this place, not allowed to leave.
I mean, yeah. Don't want invisible walls to do all the work, don't you? Or do you? Um, but yeah. You might have some input on this one, Town. Someone in the Twitch chat is saying, I'm thinking about buying the VIP rank, but I don't feel like spending $500 on something that I don't know. really much about just yet. And that, you know, maybe they're buying something that we're gonna give away. He's worried about, but that's not really the case in terms of that specific stuff. But if you wanted to ease people's concerns about pledge rewards, by all means.
Well, that particular stuff, like you'll be able to buy the individual items in the on the new website later on for
Hmm.
each package. I don't think that they'll look at like they'll be the same thing, but I think they'll have different skins, if I recall correctly. So if you do end up purchasing like the rustic car, even though your package didn't have a rusty car, uh, and you buy that separately, it might just be a different looking rustic car, you know.
Hmm. But
But yeah, if you like something from like the $500 package, and you'd like to purchase one of but you don't want to spend $500 on it, um, you'll probably be able to buy those individual items in the future. They'll just have a different appearance.
Okay, yeah. Definitely, we really want to give you guys, you know, a proportional balance of, you know, you're getting what you're paying for, and we don't want to instantly be like, oh, hey, you can get the same thing in game for this much in game money. That's not going to be the case for these pledge reward items. You can get familiar or similar items, but as I said earlier, not the exact thing. But definitely the safest way to play it is just to wait it out for the new shop and see what tickles your fancy, so to speak. Um, okay, let me see here. Lots of people, 448 already. Holy moly. Um, ooh, map size in square meters. Ooh, I don't think we have that. If you're talking about town square, it'll just be the size of a town square. If we're talking about the full game playable map for later down the road, it's like, shoot, I should know this. I should know this. I know the map size. I think it's 15 by 15 square kilometers. Um, Let me go through my big bag of cues. And oh, here's another one about the full world environment Motown. Someone was wondering what kinds of structures or facilities you can expect to find in Identity's world. For example, I'm talking like skyscrapers, storage warehouses, water facilities, or power plants. What sorts of things can you expect to see in the full game?
Mm, yeah, that's a like we could go on forever naming all the different things that you'd be able to see, but yeah, you'll definitely like there's three major cities in Identity. There is Roseport, which is the biggest city. There is Ash Hill, which is the city that you see in the town square. It'll be a much bigger version of what you see in town square, um, but town square is representative of the architecture and art style of it. And then you'll see Turtle Beach, which is a reference to Myrtle Beach in real life. Uh, and also Ash Hill is a reference to Asheville, North Carolina in real life. So so yeah, you definitely see a lot of real life influences in those cities. So anything you might expect to see in a place like Asheville, North Carolina, you'll probably see the same style and architecture in the city of Ash Hill in game. Myrtle Beach is very you know, beachy,
Yay, my
tourist
kind of place.
attraction kind of place. You'll
That's your
see
spot,
like the
Beach.
I
yeah,
know.
yeah. You'll see like the tourist attraction type of stuff there. It'll be a nice place somewhere in between Ash Hill and Roseport in the game. As
Hmm.
far as quality, so like if you're really a poor player, you're probably going to be living in Roseport in one of the high rises.
That's
If
me.
you if you're a rich player, you'll probably live in Ash Hill, and if you're somewhere in between, uh, you'll live in Turtle Beach.
Cool. But like no ideas on like, you know, nuclear power plants or things like that.
There won't. I mean, there won't be a power plant building because there's nothing.
Yeah, you don't actually need to pay for
Yeah,
electricity or
there's
things like
no
that.
like thing that affects power
Mm-hmm.
in the game. Uh, but they're like I could go on forever naming all the different types of buildings that there are.
Okay, cool. We don't want to be here all day, so we will move on. But thank you, dude. Real quick to clarify something in the chat, I see people asking if they'll be able to have access to the modules once the new store is up, and the answer is yes. When the modules are out, you'll still be able to purchase the pre-release content, the access to that if you so choose. Maybe you're on the fence right now and you see a video or something later on and it makes you want to dive in. You can still do that. We aren't going to limit it all right now. The writing on the current shop might make it seem a bit scary, like everything is going away and you won't be able to get access to the beta or the modules, but if you're not, you will be able to grab that. It might be a little bit more expensive on the new shop. I'm not too sure how the prices will even out, but and mostly with the shop as it is right now, you get things in bundles, and then with the new shop comes out, some stuff will be removed, like the in-game cash rewards. I'm pretty sure that's going away, but a good chunk of stuff will remain and you'll be able to buy it separately, not in a bundle. But right now the bundles are designed in a way that it's a pretty good deal to get. But yeah, if you're not, you don't have to be feeling like you're forced into purchasing something right now. You can always wait it out and see if the modules are something that you'd be interested in. And then someone else asked, ooh, are you going to add lots of references to other games and movies like Two Pines Mall, Back to the Future?
There will be tons of references to all sorts of things, pop culture. Uh, yeah, we'll go nuts with it. You'll see like, I mean, you might see UFO lights in the sky. You might see a Yeti in the forest from a distance. Bigfoot Yeti. You won't be able to get close to him, but he'll like pop around a tree when you try to get close or something like that and
Oh
disappear.
my gosh, that'd be
Things like
scary.
that. But there's a ton of pop culture internet references all over the game. One of the things you'll see in the town square is the dress everybody remembers, the blue and black, white and gold dress that everybody saw differently in an image. That's actually in the game, so you'll when you see a player wearing that dress in Identity, you might see it differently than the player next to you. It has it randomizes between people that see it,
Ooh.
so that they can argue just like they did on the internet back when it was a meme, uh, whether it's blue or black or
Wait, so it's this dress, the one that everyone could decide on? Like what color it was?
yeah. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
Like,
I know exactly what you're talking
yeah,
about.
the dress is what it's
Oh no.
and we just thought that was goofy.
I thought you were
Um,
talking about some like Technicolor Dreamcoat type of thing
no,
where you could.
no,
No.
no.
I'm like,
Um,
what is that?
there's like dab emotes, like little goofy dumb stuff that people could go do. So like if you want your character to dab, you can do that and laugh it off.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. Just to respond to Shredix in the Twitch chat, when the new shop is up, we'll actually keep the prices as they are for like a day or two because there's a lot of people that have the money right now and simply can't use PayPal because maybe it's not in their country or something is going wrong. So the new site will have at least a credit card option if you can purchase stuff through that. And we'll look into exploring more payment options in the future. But in terms of raising the prices for module access, it's something I could definitely bring up with John. Maybe I can get him to keep it as it is, but we will see. But I definitely see your recommendation there and I'll bring it up with the boss. It's 4:56 already. Holy moly. So we'll start to wrap it up soon. What software do you use to do your graphic designing? Mark is currently using Adobe Illustrator and pretty much the entire Adobe suite. That's not to say other things are not good. He was just he studied with this. That's what he was using in school. So
Yeah, you can choose to use CorelDRAW or any of those other there's a bunch of other different ones, but Adobe was the main one that I learned to start with. So plus they keep updating with new stuff, and it's always getting better instead of getting worse. So.
Cool. Good. Good. This one's in general, Motown. Are you in need of any voice acting work?
Not right now, but in the future is very likely. I remember when we were doing our Kickstarter, a lot of people were contacting us. There was actually at least like I won't name names, but there were a couple of celebrities that I recognize that not like movie celebrities, but internet celebrities that were interested in doing uh, some voices in the game too, and
Like Will Wheaton.
that would be cool. I see him on Reddit sometimes, right? But yeah, we'll definitely get into that in the near future. We'll probably put up we'll probably start accepting applications for that sort of thing on our website, or maybe we'll get into contact with certain individuals that we know do a good job with it.
And I assume this might be for promotional material if we need voice work done in, gameplay stuff
Yeah,
or
possibly promotional material, NPC voices, the ones that stand behind the counters. They need to be able to talk, right? Welcome
yeah.
someone into the store, or call for help if you try to walk out of their store without paying.
Cool. Yeah, that sounds good. Certainly a lot of options in that area. I know most games might just have like an NPC grunt or something. Most MMOs actually in general might just have a limited thing going there, but it'd be cool if we could flesh it out a bit. Yeah, and try and take one more question real quick. Do you accept Bitcoin? No, sorry. Just
Yeah, no, unfortunately, no
I think he's
Bitcoin.
just kidding. But yeah, we might look into getting PaySafe or something, but right now for the new shop, the only new additional payment option that I'm aware of anyways is credit cards. Um, and yeah, I guess that's pretty much all for today. We're about at 5 o'clock. I'll start wrapping it up. I'd like to once again thank Mark for doing the stream for us. It's been really cool to actually see some 2D work for a change. We have a lot of 3D artists, but very rarely do you see what goes on in the background for the design for UI icons and wallpapers and logos and things like that. So
I didn't get very
special thanks.
far, but here's two for you. Two
No, it's
Great.
good.
little backpack and a magnifying glass to start with. So.
Cool.
Yeah, dude, it's totally fine. And you showed us some cool at the beginning for the bike shop brand, so that's pretty cool. And yeah, this is also a first stream from within the office, which is kind of funny if you think about it. We've been doing this forever, but this is the first one hosted from within our room. Uh, so that's pretty cool. Just a random tidbit of information. And yes, once again, thank you to Motown, one of the founding members of Identity. It's always great to pick your brain a bit, convey some questions from the community to you guys, and get some responses back. I'll definitely get the highlights of the stream up tomorrow. And yeah, thank you to the mods for showing up too. It's been a wonderful time with you all, and I hope you all have a great rest of your Tuesday. We should be live Thursday. I think I have Jade scheduled, so we'll see you then. And yeah, have a great time, everyone. Stay safe, and see you later.
Yeah, thanks everybody.
Yep. Bye.
And yeah, Mark, you can just hit the stop streaming.